My name is Shake Sula, the mic ruler, the old schooler. You want a trick? I'll bring it to ya. Fried up and I'm all caught, broken like a cop. Me, why you upset, talking knock knock? Why make the money, see? Me, why get the honey, she? Traveling in my car, living like a star. Ice on my fingers and my toes and I'm a toy.
Riddle me this. What's the longest running series on Adult Swim? If you said Robot Chicken, you were correct in 2020. But it's 2025 now, and it's actually Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Hey there, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. It's Super Saturday, where we talk about all things super and awesome. I'm your host, Gen X Man, and today we're talking about Dave Willis and Matt Milero's multi-season masterpiece. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which I'm just going to shorten to Aqua Teen from here on in, aired as a pilot preview on December 30th, 2000. Yes, the series is that old, and so are all of us that remember it. What can you do? Anyway, the series debuted a few months later on September 9th, 2001, and has run on again, off again since. At current count, there are 11 seasons with a staggering combined episode count of 139. Warner Home Video have put out 8 seasons on DVD at the time of this writing. I've been collecting them via my local flea market Rinky Dinks for a decade now, so you can absolutely find these affordably. Individual seasons run about 10 to 20 bucks on Amazon, spiking to 60 or more for, the big collected editions. If you're curious, yeah, they're worth it. The series has been ranked by IGN 39th Best Animated Series among 100 TV shows, nominated for Teen Choice Awards in 2007, 2008, with Willard and Mailero receiving Annie Award nominations in 2011 for their writing. And finally, in 2019, IGN again honored the series, placing it 25th on their list of top 25 animated series for adults. It is infinitely quotable and hilarious, even more so when you're inebriated, but I digress. The series follows 3 pieces of fast food paraphernalia: a milkshake called Shake, a box of french fries called Frylock, and a lump of meat called Meatwad. Frylock's the brains, Meatwad is adorable, and Shake's a pain in the ass. They're all roommates and have frequent interactions with their interesting neighbor, Carl. Show co-creator Willis voices both Meatwad and Carl, while Mailero voices a lot of the smaller side characters like the Mooninites. Every episode is written by Willis and Mailero, preserving the overarching feel and direction throughout the series. Each episode is essentially its own thing. While there are running gags and references, stories tend to be presented and concluded within that show. Like C-Lab reviewed previously, the episodes often conclude with the deaths of the main characters and destruction, etc., only to reset in the next one. During the first 2 seasons, the show would open up with a bit by Dr. Weird. Initially, this was to present the antagonist or problem for the episode, but the show drifted away from that and it kind of became a running gag before being dropped entirely after season 2. For season 3, they tried a different cold opening with a Plutonian Moonanite series of exchanges, which was predominantly an exchange of insults. Apparently, all these bits they done for another show called Space Cataz, but Adult Swim passed on that, so they chopped it up and littered it at the opening of season 3. Cold openings were dropped in altogether with season 4. You might be interested to know that Aqua Teen grew out of an unaired, undeveloped idea originally planned for Space Ghost Coast to Coast, called Baffler Meal. The premise was that they were corporate mascots of a chain called Burger Trench, out to combat hunger in teens. Obviously, that never saw the light of day. The characters were pretty much nothing like what they ended up as in Aqua Teen. Voice actor Dana Snyder actually got his start with Aqua Teen. He auditioned over the phone with co-creator Dave Willis, who he would later join on stage in April 2010 for a live performance of Aqua Teen. So, they've done some Broadway, technically. I haven't seen that myself. It sounds interesting. He's gone on to land hundreds of roles, both voice and live acting, but he started here, interestingly enough. Carrie Means, who voices Frylock, has one of those voices you'd swear you'd heard it 100 times, but has apparently only appeared in a relative handful of roles. He's interestingly trained in about a baker's dozen dialects, so this guy's done some work on his craft. He's done a bit of theater work too. Now, there are some sad notes out there on the internet land about folks that worked on the show not getting compensated adequately. Since I'm just coming off two videos that I consider to be more negative than positive, I'm not going to dive into those here. But you can find them with a quick search. A spoiler alert, if true, they're very sad. Moving on now. Co-creator Dave Willis, as I mentioned earlier, voices Meatwad and Carl and several of the other characters. He was hired by Cartoon Planet in '95 after he submitted a recommendation written in crayon, seemingly penned by a child. The joke worked and got him in the door. At that time, he was a writer for Cartoon Planet, then later Space Ghost Coast to Coast, along with some Brack Show work. He met Milero during this time, and the two created Aqua Teen, and later on Squidbillies, and so on and so forth. Tons of other voice actors and guests have joined the cast through the years, something unavoidable with such a long-running series. But these are the core guys as far as voices go, along with, co-creator Maya Lara. The series was canceled back in 2015 as Adult Swim president Mike Latzo said he was ready to move on from it. This went against the wishes of Willis and Meyer Laro, obviously. The series would sneak back into public consciousness here and there from 2022 on, but allegedly canceled again in May 2024 based on a tweet from Meyer Laro, so we'll see. But there you have it, folks. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the abridged history. I myself adore the show and consider it one of the best in our collection. Definitely worth checking out and collecting. Also, a great option to squeeze in some cartoons on this Super Saturday. But definitely do get yourself a cold drink if you do. This freaking heat waves has been going for a week with no end in sight. If you're someplace that's not experiencing this stupid heat wave, I envy you right now. This sucks. Mowing yard this morning it's giving me quite a migraine here today, so I'm going to skedaddle, get myself some more water, get hydrated, and I hope you all will do as well. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope I entertained you all. I will be back in another week for another Super Saturday, and I hope to see you all there. Until then, have a good one.